Welcome to a new edition of Harness Central. I'm Harold Howe, and we're here with John Wilkinson in Guelph, a member of the horse racing industry transition panel. John, we had a meeting today of approximately 50-some people here within the industry to talk about the plan that's going to be presented for discussion, 10 days' time or whatever it is, June 30th. What did you hope to accomplish today? There weren't a lot of specifics. There were some, but I guess what should we take from it?
Well, that we think that there's a bright future for horse racing in Ontario, and the way that we do that is by coming together over the next couple of months to look at a specific plan that we've been asked by the Minister of Agriculture, Premier Wynne, to create. We've done that. It'll become public by the end of June. We're going to have public consultations, and we're also going to speak to our industry partners, and we're going to try to refine that and give by the end of the summer a very concrete plan to Minister Wynne, who's the Premier, and saying, Premier, we want to have a bright, vibrant, sustainable horse racing industry. We've come together. Here's how we're going to do it. And we'd like you to implement that. And she has asked us to create that, so that's very encouraging. And she's also said that though the government is modernizing OLG, she wants it to be integrated with the horse racing industry. So it was great to have Rod Phillips here, who's the president and CEO of OLG, talking about how he's been asked by the same person, Kathleen Wynne, to work closely with the horse racing industry to create these new products and joint ventures that are going to make sure that we have the money to have a sustainable horse racing industry that's based on our customers. Because the highlight of our plan is about how do we get reintegrated with our customer? How do we go and make sure that people want to go to the races and they want to bet on our product? Because we've got a great product in Ontario, world class. And we need to come together to make sure that it gets marketed properly so that we have more and more bettors, more and more customers, and therefore a stronger and stronger industry.
In talking to a few people after the discussion, the overriding thing that seemed to be discussed was the fact that it's for real, that the OLG is going to be, I guess you might say, our new best friend. It's being pushed from the highest levels. That's not to say it's not going to be easy.
Well, no, it won't be easy. And as we were saying, the industry has taken just one hell of a knock. And the amazing thing, and what Elmer, John, and I know, is this is a very resilient industry. You've got to be resilient to be in the horse racing industry. And the industry has proven that over the last 15 months or so. And the people who are in the industry today, they want to be in that industry. And they want to have a brighter future, and they want to have a say in that. But they understand that the world has changed, and we need to go to an industry that is in touch with its customers, because that's our future. But if we're in touch with our customers and the government of Ontario is willing to be our partner, boy, that's world class. That we'll be able to create a horse racing industry under this new model that we think will be the envy of the world. Because as the Premier was saying just at the North American Cup, she said this province wants to have a sustainable, vibrant horse racing industry well into the future. And we do that by these partnerships. And I think people were very pleased with the remarks that Rod made. You need to get to the future, sometimes you need to turn the page. So I think today was a big part of turning that page and getting people to focus on a brighter future.
So for all those people who have been scrapping it out to survive the last 15 months, on the longest day of the year in 2013, what message should they take from this, in succinctly as possible?
You're hanging on for a reason, because there is a future in this industry. And now everybody in the province is on the same page with you. They want to have a great world-class horse racing industry in this province that's based on sound economic fundamentals, where it's a win-win, where it's going to be good for the taxpayers and it's going to be good for the industry, but most importantly, we're going to make our fans happy. So they want to come out and bet on our horses and have a sustainable industry for decades to come.
John, thank you for your thoughts.
Anytime, Harold.
We're now here with Rod Phillips, President and CEO of Ontario Lottery and Gaming. Mr. Phillips, this is for the horse racing community. Are you and the organization now our new best friend?
Well, Harold, we like to think that we've got a long history, and maybe not most recently, but we've worked together well in the past. And what we were talking about today is, the importance of a sustainable horse racing industry and a harness racing industry. So we were here today to start that process, and we sure hope that people see us as if not a friend, a good partner.
The Premier has directed that you and others have the challenge of integrating horse racing into the whole gaming strategy for the province of Ontario. In your life's work, you've faced a number of challenges. Where does this one rank for you?
Well, I wouldn't put it at the top, but it's nowhere close to the bottom. This is a challenge. This is something we're going to have to work together on, because we know that the customer has to be at the heart of any strategy that's going to be successful. And not just for horse racing and harness racing, but for gaming, for casino gaming, for our slot facilities, for our lottery facilities. We're challenged on the customer front. So we all have a similar challenge. The difference, I feel, after today's session is I think there's a real hope that we can all work collectively together on solving the challenge.
This doesn't mean just a change of mindset for you from, let's say, a year ago, but for the whole organization. It's doing almost a 180 from where you were going to be headed before. Again, I use the word challenge. That's a big undertaking you folks face.
Yeah, I'd frame it a little differently. We have had over a decade of a relationship with horse racing, and a pretty successful one. We were responding to an approach the government chose to take, a new government, and Premier Wynne has said, I want to make sure that modernization goes forward. I want to make sure that the revenues that OLG delivers keep getting delivered and get expanded, but I also want to make sure that horse racing is sustainable. And she says it in a way that's very compelling. She says, I don't see any reason why those two should be mutually exclusive. So I see this as an opportunity for a win-win in terms of making sure that both the harness racing business and which still the people in the room were very honest. There's still a lot of questions to be asked, but I see that as a good starting point, because we're in the room to ask our own questions and get them answered as well.
And it would be safe to say that even when the plan is put into place, there's still a lot to be accomplished after that.
This is the work that we've been doing is a 5-year plan launched a year ago. Now there's going to be this important component about how horse racing becomes integrated into that. But when you've got goodwill, when you've got a lot of people that are working towards the same end, those things work out. I think very importantly, what the government's done is provided 2 years of what that funding is going to be. And the questions that we're getting asked today was, well, we want to be in this business 3 and 5 and 10 years. What's that look like? Those are the right questions to ask.
Thank you very much for sharing your thoughts.
Thank you. Happy to talk to you.
We're now here with Hugh Mitchell from Western Fair. Hugh, your thoughts on what was said today? Was it smoke and mirrors, or was there substance?
Oh, I think there was a lot of substance. I'm actually heartened and very pleased with some of the themes of the discussion today, particularly the one with respect to a new beginning in our relationship with the OLG. There's a lot of work to be done. And to be honest with you, I wasn't shocked. I had some expectations coming in today's meeting that we would really have an enhanced racing outlook and a positive racing outlook, because the industry was coming together and working now with the OLG and, most importantly, with the government. So I'm very pleased with the outcome.
This partnership with the OLG, or supposed partnership, reminds me of something my banker said to me years ago. Whether you like it or not, I'm your partner and your new best friend. Are we a little bit in that situation here?
I actually like it. Our relationship at Western Fair with the OLG for 13 years has been a very good one, to be honest with you. It's a natural. In terms of the business that we're both in, there's a lot of synergies and connections between ourselves, and now it would appear like there's going to be more formal linkage. But having said all of that, I think our industry's biggest challenge, as the OLG modernizes itself, so too must our industry, which I think means consolidation and rationalization. And I am pretty optimistic that we'll adapt to the new world, because that's very important for us moving forward, to be very flexible and adaptable and to accept change, as the OLG is doing in their modernization strategy.
Thanks for your thoughts.
Thank you.
We're now here with Bill O'Donnell from COSA. Bill, your thoughts on what took place today?
Well, it was the first of the first. Anyway, I mean, they had the OLG in the room, and I guess finance was in there somewhere. I didn't recognize anybody from there, but it's at this juncture, at least it's moving. It just sat and sat and sat forever and ever and ever, and there's no specifics as of yet. When the draft comes out, maybe it'll be more so, but if we're allowed, and if our racing is allowed access to the 16,000 outlets that the OLG has in some form, maybe it'll be okay. I don't know, but I'm still cautiously optimistic how good it's going to be.
It does reaffirm the old saying that politics makes for strange bedfellows.
Absolutely. Yeah. So what does that mean? I mean, if the OLG allowed simulcast into their OLG casinos, is that enough? I don't think so. But there's going to have to be some other things. But when you look at all the figures, we'll see. But
when you're driving home down the 401, are you going to be feeling some sense of optimism or more of the same?
a little bit more optimistic, I think. But every time we speak, you say you're going to the tavern. Maybe I'll go to the tavern this time.
Okay, Bill. Thanks for your thoughts.
All right, thanks.
Harold Howe with Bill O'Donnell giving you the Harness Racing Edge.